All right, welcome back to the Parlay Show, powered by Bet99. Time to talk some footy. We bring in Sara Poraria of Room 442. So we obviously have the Champions League I teed up going on this Saturday. But before we get into that, we have to talk about the biggest news in world football, maybe the biggest news in world sport coming out. It was yesterday. Lionel Messi not going to Barcelona, not going to Saudi Arabia. Where does he go? To MLS to play for Inter Miami, Sarah. We know some people who somewhat called this, let's just say. But nonetheless, extremely surprising that Messi, the caliber of player that he still is, the performance he put in at the World Cup, winning the World Cup, had a really good season with PSG, is now moving to MLS.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I mean, it's a waste of his talent, in my opinion.
Hold on, we got to tee this up. First, Sarah is a massive Messi fan.
Yes, massive Barca fan, actually.
Right down to the core.
Yeah.
So you feel this one.
Yeah, because like you said, he's so not at the level of MLS. He's also not at the level where I see him retiring in the next year or two. I still think he has at least a year or two left in top 5 European leagues. So whether that's at Barcelona or, maybe the likes of a Manchester City, a Newcastle, somebody that could afford him, right?
Yeah.
I'm so shocked that he's going to not only Miami, okay, the lifestyle, the culture there, very Latino based, but they're last in the Eastern Conference right now.
Dead last.
MLS this season has been not great. In fact, I feel like it dipped a bit. You have teams like Miami, New York, LA. They're not performing well, right? So I just think it's a waste of Messi's talent. But from what I'm understanding, Barcelona once again screwed this whole thing up. Messi came out and said, I wanted to go to Barcelona. So when you hear that, he didn't want to go to Miami. He had his eyes on Barcelona, and then, whatever, they didn't bring him a proper agreement, whatever it may be. But for me, I see this as he's going to settle down, like he said. He wants his family to also enjoy his time. That's why Saudi Arabia was out of the picture, because in Paris, he said we didn't have a good 2 years there. So they'll have a better life in Miami. But Argentina's building a training facility in Miami. The Copa America is in the U.S. in 2024 and the World Cup 2026.
Good point.
I see Messi going there to relax, training more with Argentina than Miami, and prepping for the national team. The thing that bothers me the most is MLS is this is great, and I get that, but
it is. It's big for them, Sarah.
It's big for them, but this guy is not going for Miami. This guy is going to, I think, prep more for the national team and try and get out of the spotlight, though Messi will, I don't think, ever get out.
There's more to this deal than just football, right? He gets a share of Adidas kit sales, which is going to go through the roof, obviously. A share of Apple TV season pass revenue, and an option to buy a stake in the club once he retires. This is a similar deal in terms of having an option to buy a club that Beckham had when he moved over to Los Angeles. So listen, he's turning down massive money from Saudi Arabia, but he's going to make a lot of money.
Isn't it crazy, though, how many things had to be involved to get Messi to Miami? The league is literally buying him.
Right.
Adidas, he's getting, like you said, a part of the club. This guy is really the king of football.
This is what you pay for probably the greatest ever. This is what you pay.
It's like you mentioned off air, this is such a strategic and smart decision for him because it doesn't even matter what happens with him on the pitch. He knows he's coasting right now with everything that's going to happen with Miami and all the shares that he has involved. He's just, honestly, I really see, if he wins the Copa America with Argentina next year, I could see him wrapping everything up. I don't know, I'd love to see him in another World Cup, but just by the way it sounds, if things are going like that, although he did say, I still hope I play for Barcelona one day. So, I mean, of course, I'm hoping, but
I think it'll happen. I almost guarantee that will happen.
If he goes,
he
back
will be
to
back
Barcelona,
in a Barcelona shirt at some point. He's only 35 years old.
He
still has a lot
to
offer. We were talking about. Remember when Zlatan? Yeah, Zlatan goes to LA. He dominates the league.
He buys the newspaper and says, "You're welcome."
Yeah, and then goes back to Europe, wins the Scudetto with AC Milan, and then retires. Listen, man, Messi can play till he's 40. He still has that capability.
I hope so.
His debut actually may come as soon as July 21st for a Leagues Cup match against Cruz Azul in Miami. I was taking a look at the odds, and I'm like, okay, we're into Miami. They're last in the Eastern Conference. Odds can't be too great, right? Well, at the moment on Bet99, they're 23-1, so plus 2,300. Odds on June 5th, plus 20,000 for Inter Miami to win MLS Cup after the Messi news, plus 2,300. You follow the MLS quite closely. I know it's MLS. I said the MLS quite closely. Do they have a shot even with Messi?
I mean, the thing is with MLS is that there's, I think, 15 teams in the Eastern Conference, and if you're 12 or above, you make the playoffs. Like, it's something ridiculous. Almost every team makes
North
the
American
playoff.
style.
Exactly. So the thing is, they just have to win a couple games in order to get that point deficit between 12 and 15 right now, which isn't that far apart. So it takes a matter of a couple games and they're in a playoff spot. Once you're in a playoff spot, it's anyone's game, right? You just got to win those games. So
Messi and knockout football in the playoffs?
It could be, but what I'm more excited about is if you're going to bring Messi, now I'm hearing Boosie's coming, Suarez is coming, Jordi Alba's coming. Hey, listen, if you're going to rebuild a 2015 Barca squad in Miami with all the boys, fine, I'll get behind it.
Yeah,
but
so here are the links. Angel Di Maria is now linked into Miami. Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, and Luis Suarez. Neymar was in Miami last night watching the
I said that. I was
NBA
thinking,
Finals.
is Neymar going to go? But the rumors are that this morning, Neymar has told Barcelona that he wants to come back, and that is his priority. Also take that
I feel like
as
it's
well.
like the NBA. These players are piecing everything together. Everything's going to fall into place where all of a sudden Neymar's in Barcelona, somehow Messi comes back. And the boys are back together once again.
Yeah,
that's your dream. That's Sarah's dream. Okay, enough about MLS. We have a massive game coming up on Saturday. First of all, I have to say this. Shout out to West Ham. Winning the Europa Conference League. Listen, I know we make fun of it. We have on Room 442 on the homestand. But West Ham were a team that I would say for most of the season were in a relegation battle, I'd say.
Yeah.
And now they win a European trophy beating Fiorentina with a 90th.
Which they haven't won since last century.
Yeah, 90th minute winner from Jared Bowen. So just shout out to David Moyes and West Ham. David Moyes has been through a lot, so credit to them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Champions League final, the most important final in European football, at least the European club football. Man City minus 213 on the money line to beat Inter Miami plus 600. City are massive favorites. Listen, it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. City are going for the treble. They definitely have the better team. But I just feel like in a final, I feel like the book here is giving a bit too much respect to Manchester City.
Yeah.
Am I wrong for that?
No, because the book always does this. They never consider the fact that it is a one-off game, that anything can happen. And the thing is, we have to factor in Italian teams in finals. Like, they know how to win these things. Inter haven't been in a final since they won it in 2010, but they did win it. But especially the way these Italians play football, it's very defensive, and that could be something that could frustrate City, because if they just, put the bus or
park the bus. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Put the bus and park the bus.
Put it up and park it up. Yeah. If they park the bus, though, that is a way they can frustrate City. They don't care about possession. They don't care about, they're just going to play on the counter, and they're going to frustrate City. And if they, get that 1-2 chance on the counter, maybe they could break through that City defense. But it could be beneficial for them. And I see this going as if they play like that, they're going to want to go into extra time and penalties. To me, that is the way Inter are going to want to win this game.
Yeah, and if you look at which team to win the finals, so remember this. In finals, when it comes to the money line, that only covers regulation time, which is 90 minutes plus injury time. If it's a draw, if you pick Manchester City or Inter Milan to win in 90 minutes on the money line, you lose your bet. But the draw will take you, obviously, into extra time and injury time. If you want to cover yourself, so whenever the team wins, you bet on which team will win the final, and you get Man City minus 450, Inter plus 333. I'm telling you, listen, this is a pure value play and odds play for me, but I'm leaning Inter. I just really believe that in a final like this, anything can happen. We've seen it before, right? I mean, look at West Ham in the Conference League final. Probably should have never really been in that game, but they somehow pulled it off, and it was a pick'em. And I like when matches are closer to even in terms of odds when it goes to a final.
My question to you is that we're looking at for value here, right?
Yes.
So maybe goal scorers. I would actually suggest here to stay away from Erling Haaland in this match.
He's minus 158 to score.
Okay, so first of all, the value is not there, but Erling Haaland doesn't score in big games. There's always other people that come up, whether it's Bernardo Silva, John Stones, Jack Grealish. I would say pick one of those guys to score.
How about Gundo?
Or Gundo. How about what's Lautaro Martinez? He's scored 7 goals for Inter Milan in their last 8 games.
He's plus 300 to score in that game.
I like that a lot. 7 goals in their last 8 games. Lautaro Martinez rounding into form when they need him. Beginning of the season, garbage. Argentina, garbage. But now he's playing fantastic football for Inter when they need him. Good for him.
Yeah, Lautaro didn't have a great World Cup. I picked him to win the Golden Boot.
Oh my God.
He scored a decisive penalty. I'll give him that. But after the World Cup, everything changed. He became one of Inter's best players.
You remember the cross Messi gave him, the tap in that he missed and went wide?
I'm still hurting from that one. Yeah, so Lautaro plus 300. Yeah, KDB plus 300.
I like
Gundo,
that.
who scored 2 massive goals in the FA Cup final, which won it for City over Manchester United. He is also plus 300 to score
Look
anytime.
for those guys. I think that's good value. I mean, I can see this. I think City are still going to win in regulation time, but if they manage to go the distance, that's when Inter are going to thrive.
Okay, I'm not saying this is your official pick, but you like Man City to win this game. You would say in regulation?
I think so.
Okay, so that's minus 213.
Yeah, there's no value.
I know it's tough to bet that.
But also in a final, I would never don't pick a winner in this game. That would not be my advice. Go for the cards. How about here, Rodri, to get a card anytime? What's that at? Because that.
I'll look that one up. Yeah, there's bookings here on Bet99. You can find everything here over on Bet99 Sportsbook. There's sending offs. You can bet on sending offs.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to go through it, but Rodri's got to be at least plus money to get a card at some point in this game.
Marcelo Brozovic right now has 9 yellow cards for Inter Milan.
Yes.
Maybe him, Nico Barella could be a good shout.
Well, that's going to be their role in the midfield. If they are going to sit back, they're going to have to take these fouls, right? And what happens when you counter against Manchester City? Tactical fouls. You have to kill the counter, which you have Rodri, you have a couple center backs in the picture as well. Okay, so I'm going to go, you like the money line for Manchester City, Lautaro to score.
Anytime.
Leaning towards anytime. That's around plus 300.
Yeah.
And your City scores. Not Erling Haaland.
No, he hasn't scored in the big games.
You know what I noticed? He does struggle to score against teams that sit back.
Yeah.
Because there's no space. Most of his goals do come inside the box, though.
And also, look at these goals that like Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne against Real Madrid, Bernardo Silva as well, all outside the box. Screamers.
Right.
That's how they're going to they're not going to be able to break through the Inter defense if I'm thinking.
That's a really good point.
So you look for those guys that are going to be able to take those nasty shots from outside the box. So who do you have there? KDB is probably the best shout in that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you said Gundo. Maybe Jack Grealish even could be spicy, a little Jack. But I think KDB is probably your best bet based on what he can do outside the box.
KDB to score plus 300. I will definitely be playing that. And you know my rule when it comes to finals, no matter the final, bet the draw.
Bet the draw.
I love it because I do expect these games to go the distance. So I think you get that around plus 300, plus 350.
If it goes to a draw, if it goes to penalties, who has the advantage?
Oh my God! I mean, look at the players on the Manchester City side. You have Haaland, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, those guys we just mentioned. Riyad Mahrez is unbelievable from the spot.
Will take a penalty.
Even Ruben Diaz, Rodri's good from the spot.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's not even about skill anymore.
It's about the head.
It's all about the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Inter's been in a couple penalty shootouts this season.
Yeah, they
right?
have. It's very, like I mentioned before, it's like the Italian
Lukaku,
way, the defensive
Lautaro,
way.
Brozovic.
Yeah.
Nico Barella.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's tough. You're right.
You know what? I'm going Inter. If it goes to penalties, I'll lean Inter.
There you go.
You could probably bet that live. I usually, I don't know the odds exactly, but if you bet penalties live, it's about like even money each way or just under even money. So those are a couple things you should look out for. So Sara Poraria says City to win, but look at KDB to score, Lautaro Martinez to score as well for Inter Milan. I was about to say Inter Miami, but no, they are not in the Champions League final. Maybe one day, you never know, when they finally all come together.
The Super League.
The Super League with Messi and Inter Miami. Thank you so much for doing this. Sara Poraria of Room 442. That's it for the show today. This has been the Parlay Show powered by Bet99. We'll be back on Tuesday next week, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.